I'm very fond of There Once Was a Man from Kildare.
Okay, now say that one as fast as you can.
No, I can't say it fast. There once was a man from Kildare who was fucking a girl on the stair. The banister broke, so he doubled his stroke and finished her off in midair. It's very clever.
All right, I think you're all warmed up.
Digging in the crates for something good. Hidden gems often misunderstood. 'Cause you know there's no such thing as too much. Miscellaneous important stuff.
Welcome back to the show. I didn't mention it last week, but we have a new theme song that I'm pretty excited about. I found a guy on Fiverr.com. His name was, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but I think it's Rob Tunstall. But he was really great to work with, and just excited to have something that fits the show so well. This week on the show, I talked to my friend Holly, she's been a friend of mine for a lot of years now. We met each other when we were 19, and she acted in a short film I was making in college. We've worked together over the years and stayed friends over the years, and she's just a lot of fun to talk to. She's an actress, she's an artist, she is a writer, and we talked about what it means to be an actress and what it means to pursue that. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. Here it is. We're going to start
Okay.
by you telling me what the, as you called it, the hierarchy of acting.
Oh, this is gonna come back to hurt me. Okay. Let me see if I can recall it the way that I said it earlier. I think it was like Broadway / major feature films, like Oscar noms, and then beneath that is like tour, like Broadway tours, and like art house films, indie features. Below that, maybe like regional theater. And then regional theater, and below that is like community theater / like student film, and then underneath that is like a really good high school production, and then maybe like your 5th grade talent show, and then underneath that is like your niece's ballet recital where she plays like a squirrel, and then way down there is who done it theater.
Why though? Why is that so?
It just it everything about it makes my skin crawl. It's like, and I'm just gonna have to commit to this opinion. I hope I'm not offending any of my friends, but it's always just like someone it's like bad Halloween wigs that have been like in the box, for too long, and they're dusty and shiny at the same time. And people have crazy accents, like, what I mean? And like, and maybe it's like the type of people that would go see those shows. It's just, we're not really dealing with, it's not the top brass, All
right, well, where do you fit into that hierarchy?
I am at least 5th grade talent show.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Right? I don't know. I'm in there somewhere, but there, there's, you could go either way.
You don't have like a spot for yourself.
Yeah, I would say, I'm right in the middle. Okay, maybe a little higher.
Huh?
Maybe I'm, like back alley theater where everyone's wearing black turtlenecks and berets. Maybe I'm like that.
I've never been in one of those. I can't relate. I'm not an actor.
I know.
I think you're a great actress.
Well, this is, a lot of this is just the parameters, that are, that's not to say that, great actors don't do whodunit theater, but it's just what I would like to go watch as a as a theater goer or a movie goer
Yeah.
or whatever.
And it's not how you don't see yourself in that.
Like,
Role.
like if it was given the choice between a ballet recital and whodunit theater, I'd go to the recital. I just feel like there's less of a chance of me like wanting to kill myself.
Okay, well, let me take it way back because I should probably explain how I even know you or how we even met.
Yes.
Us both
let's
being-
go back on this journey.
We were 19. I think we're both 19, right? 'Cause
Indeed,
we're the
yes.
same age-ish
Indeed.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Freshman in college. Freshman year
yeah,
of college.
I was at community college, but whatever.
It's still college.
It's community college. And I was making a movie called The Zone. And
You probably heard of it.
You probably heard of it. It's been out there. I think you can still find the trailer somewhere. Very dramatic. I don't know where that falls in the hierarchy, but it was
I'll think about it.
okay. But so it was short film that I was making sort of for college through college, but not in college. It was whatever. But I put a casting call
Was
out.
that like your first sort of? It wasn't like your first like passion project of
It was-
magnitude, was it?
Well, it was the first time that I had put out like a casting call. We had done all these movies with friends.
Yeah.
And we had made short films for at least a few years. This is the first time we were like, we're going to take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get some actors. We're going to see if we can actually do this. I had bought a camera,
Yeah.
a pretty good camera and other equipment. So we were feeling pretty good. You know, we're in college. We had new resources. So I put a casting call out on
Aw,
Magna
that's so
and it's like,
cute.
of course, no pay.
Right.
And didn't get a huge response. But you emailed, sent your headshot, I think.
Embarrassing.
And then
I'm already embarrassed. I don't know why.
this is what happens. I mean, geez, it was my first time too. Well, not for you, but
No,
'cause
yeah.
you had done that
I
stuff
hadn't done
already, right?
acting, but I thought I hadn't done film.
Oh, that's right, you hadn't. I forgot. So you were more in like the theater
Yeah,
realm.
yeah.
So I think you missed the casting call,
Yeah.
whatever we had scheduled,
Sure.
like it mattered.
Yeah.
Like it was an important day.
Yeah.
But then you came to
The house.
my friend Nick's house.
Busy.
And yeah. Tell me what were your thoughts?
Well, I can remember. I mean, I was very young and green myself. I remember I brought a friend with me because it was like, come to my house.
Yeah,
We're gonna put you on tape. Was it in Moore?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was just like, okay. Well, I mean, obviously, I really like wanted to like be a part of it. I really wanted to, start doing film acting or whatever. So maybe it was slightly sketchy, but it wasn't that. I mean, now looking back on it, wasn't that sketchy at all. But
Well, knowing who we are now, but
knowing
still,
who you are now,
you went to some stranger's house
in the middle, it was at night. Yeah,
and you read the script, right?
I don't know. Maybe
I hope not. You wouldn't have showed up.
I don't even know if I did. I'm leaning towards I probably didn't, just because I'm not as
You can't read.
I can't read. No, sometimes I'm just like not as responsible as I should be as an actor. I'll just like, I'll just show up and see if I like it.
It'll probably be good.
Yeah, it'll probably be okay. I'll figure it out once I'm there in the scary, house. No, so I just showed up and, with my friend or whatever. And it was just a bunch of nerdy white dudes
Yeah.
sitting around staring at me, slack jawed, mouth breathing.
Probably trying to be professional. Like, well, this is how casting calls go. All right. We're just trying to get you on tape.
I just remember you were all super geeky.
Yeah.
And no, but it's very sweet now that I think
it's
about
fine.
it. I mean, no,
I'm agreeing with you.
no, yeah, I know you. I know you are.
I was there too.
Yeah, I mean, you were a lot different then. But yeah, like you were very quiet and everybody. I mean, I think was Calvin there? Yeah, he was there.
He
That
probably
time.
was because
He was there that time, so he was the most like sort of
Outgoing?
talkative and outgoing and stuff. But the rest of you guys were very quiet but like I could tell you were good people. Just
That's good.
Just super nerdy.
Looking back now, and I'm less thinking about that script. More so not that interaction, but more so the script. because I just remember the one that like eats away at me to this day is so you guys are laying on the bed. Calvin is you're Calvin's love interest. And we cut to the scene.
Yeah.
He's painting in your painting
a heart.
Wait, he's painting in his hand.
Yeah.
He paints a red heart in his hand.
Yeah.
And then he takes your hand and
they
places them together.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, do you remember?
Now, is it something like, now you have my heart or something?
You have my heart in your hand now.
I mean, yeah, it's not, it's not Shakespeare.
No, it wasn't.
It's not even, Meg Cabot. But
well, let me continue with the scene. So then he says, no, you say.
I say.
Where do you think we'll be in 5 years?
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to say it the way that I said it?
Sure, yeah.
But you have to say it. You have to be Calvin.
Okay, I'll be Calvin.
Okay, I'm going to try to be serious. I'm really trying.
Wait.
Okay, you go. You go.
You have my heart in your hand now.
Where do you think we'll be in 5 years?
I don't know. I hope we're right here. I could lay right here with you for a long time.
Is that really what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
It's so cute that you know it.
Also, it was set up where like, we wanted it to be romantic. So there was it was just like in Nick's living room, which is his mom's house, in the pull-out bed on the living room couch.
Yeah.
And then we hung sheets that were different colors.
But there was like flickering candlelight.
Yeah,
I remember
and then we'd like put candles around the bed because that's what people do.
Mm-hmm.
You set up the living room like that when you're trying to go romantic. You bring in some like model paint to paint your hand with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The whole thing was.
Listen, like, okay. I mean, I'm thinking back to like what I thought at the time. First of all, the thing that sticks out to me the most is I remember I was like, what should I wear? And you were like, oh, wear something that you would wear on a date. And I chose like an interview outfit. Like it was not cute. Like
Sir, do I get the job?
Like, yeah, like now, like looking back, I'm like, what? Why did I choose that? How strange. So I'm already berating myself for that. And like, yeah, like I think that I, maybe sort of had the wherewithal back then to know that the dialogue wasn't like, I mean, it wasn't super duper
good.
Maybe it wasn't super duper good. But at the same time, like I was just so concerned about my performance, and like I'd never done film work before, and film work is it's a completely different animal. So, I don't know. I really wasn't that focused on it.
That's fine.
But honestly, I honestly think if it had been terrible, I would have like jumped ship. I really would have. But like it's like I think I knew that we were all like sort of like on like
figuring
we'll be
it
good.
out.
Like, yeah, we're figuring it out. It's like maybe we're not there yet, but like this is a group of people. This is a guy that like I think is going to be really good, but maybe he's just like sort of getting his footing right now. And as I felt like I was.
Yeah, I thought you did good with what you had.
I'm sure I did okay, but
I think at the time I'm writing a script and writing dialogue that I think it's conversations I don't even know how to have, but I'm still trying to write it in a movie that I don't know anything about, genre I know nothing about, and like really forcing it.
Well, for one thing, you get really lucky, if you're an actor and you have a great script to work with, and that doesn't happen all that much. And so for me, like, one of the things that, I always do as an actor is I find the most interesting way to say a line. Now, if it, sometimes the most interesting way to say it is not the most believable, and so you may not be able to use it. But I always think, okay, I'm going to find the most interesting way to say this, no matter, what the line is, even if it's like that, even if it's just, where do you think we'll be in 5 years? Because there's a lot of things that you can do with lines, that will give some sort of impact, that people don't think of initially. Because a lot of times, it's, actors are almost like beat poets, and it's like first thought, best thought. I'm just going to, say the line the way that I hear it in my head the first time, and I just think that's super lazy. And I'm lazy in a lot of ways as an actor, but I'm not lazy in that way.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
For me.
Now, when it comes to learning my lines, I'll put that off, but at least,
See, but that was fine with me because I like to change things as I go anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
I always knew that anything you gave me was always just sort of a suggestion.
that's my way around it. I don't know that I'm the best writer, but I know what sounds good and natural. I think
that
at least now
that's to your credit, though. I mean, you're not super precious about your writing. You know kind of where you want it to go, but you also know like to trust your actors, hoping that they're Now I think that you choose very capable actors.
I'll try to.
That are gonna know how to handle a line, how to say it, naturally or whatever.
I usually start with, "I'm not a good writer. What would you say? Could you fix this?"
But there's a lot of like filmmakers, directors out there that I think are like, "No, say it the way I wrote it. I bled onto this page."
Yeah, this is my story.
Yeah, I mean, I even I care a lot about my writing. But in my show, with David, when he was acting, I was kind of like, if you want to change a line, if you want to say it in a way that makes more sense to you, sounds better, feels better, whatever, I mean, I'll probably be fine with it,
Yeah. Well, yeah, talk about that some, I guess, your show. I don't know. How'd you even
sound super enthusiastic about it.
I don't?
Yeah. You're like, talk about this.
Well, because you just mentioned it. I'm trying to figure out how.
I know.
I'm trying to figure out how to segue into that too, because I only knew you when I met you. I only knew you as a film actor, even though you'd been acting, you've done theater stuff. But
yeah,
it's like,
well, I mean, being in Oklahoma, it's kind of like, I mean,
yeah, especially that time. That was
when you're young,
like 13 years ago, 14 years ago.
Oh my God, yeah. God, we're so old, dude.
Don't say that, because people older will hate us for saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, it
just feels like we're old, when we think comparatively. Yeah.
But we've come a long way.
Oh, you had so much more like volume on top of your head then. Like you have a lot of hair now, but it's like shifted and now it's like in your face.
What do you mean? What do you mean
like now you have a beard.
Oh.
But you used to have kind of an afro.
I had like, yeah. Well, if it's like in high school, it really was like sort of that. And then and then
it got smaller.
It got shorter, but then I would like spike it straight up. And then this is pointless to talk about. Nobody can see me right now. No, but how did you, like, what was your path? Because you did my movie. I don't even think we talked for a long time after that. But like, what kind of stuff were you working on, and have you always worked on when it wasn't like?
When it wasn't The Zone?
Yeah, basically The Zone and the other couple things we did together. Like, what is your regular acting life?
Regular acting life is in the theater. That's primarily what I do. It's, and I love theater, and it's sort of hard to, I think, for people that do both, I don't know if they typically have a preference. It would be hard for me to sort of say that I have a preference just because I've done so much more theater than film. And I feel like I'm probably just more suited for it just because I have more experience and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I think that I'm naturally a sort of a quiet speaker. People have told me before that I am sort of a natural actor, and so I do think that a lot of my like sensibility is, like, are good for film. So that's why why I want to do it. Aside from the fact that I just love film, So yeah, I mean, I was like, when I was like 19, we did The Zone, but that was like kind of right when when I was a freshman in college, because up until that point I pretty much just acted in school.
Yeah.
I had never really done acting outside of school before that, and so that's when I and I didn't go to school for acting. I went to school for writing. So I just kind of knew that I was on my own from that point on, and so I did a lot of theater.
Like local
yeah, just
City
local
theater.
community theater. I probably did between around 5 shows a year. I probably averaged 5 to 6 shows a year for many years. It's slowed down a little bit just because theater is struggling right now in Oklahoma City.
Well, my question is, why?
Why?
Yeah, because the only reason I ask is I've been asking myself that same question a lot.
Why do
lately.
I do it?
Hey, why do you care? Why do you want to be an actress? Like, what do you get out of it? Especially the time you got to put in 5 shows a year. Like, what is the point?
I just feel like there's no way to answer this that doesn't sound cliche or pretentious.
Let's get pretentious.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to rack my brain. I think I just do it because I'll just. Are you okay, dude?
Sorry,
I think that I do it because.
I'm not trying to cut you off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow, this is the
Is that
Jay
coffee?
Sheldon
Is that
show
coffee?
now.
Okay, sorry. No. I was giving you more time to think too. So.
Okay. The reason I do it is just because for a lot of reasons, but it's the thing that it's the thing in life that brings me the most joy as a spectator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love theater, and I love film, and that kind of entertainment is just kind of it brings me so much joy, especially as I got older, struggling with mental health and depression, and that's sort of the first thing I turned to, aside from any medical intervention.
Yeah,
that's the first thing that I turned to, and I think that a lot of people turn to just like feel better. And so
art expression,
beauty, aesthetics. So yeah, it was just kind of like, I feel like I was taking a lot away from it. And so it's like, I want to be a part of the community that, makes people feel good. What's the, who said it? The quote.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've had such a brain fog lately. It's, make art that makes people appreciate being alive.
Okay, let me just keep talking and I'm gonna look it up.
And that's kind of I think about that, and it's just like you want to be a part of a movement that it makes people appreciate just being alive, because we have to be we have to live in this world.
But what is it about performing? Because you can make lots of art. What
That's true. Well, I think that I just have a natural inclination for it. For one thing, the reason that I started doing it in the first place was because my sister did it. She's my older sister, and so I automatically just did whatever she did. But then, I don't know, she kind of, she did it and she liked it and stuff, but I kind of, took it to the next level. I hate it when anybody ever says that. Taking it to the next level.
What is the next level?
Right.
Where are we at in the hierarchy?
Where are we at? For lack of a better response, I guess it's just I believe that I'm good at it. I think I'm good at it. So, and I do it because it makes me feel good and I like it. And there's been certain performances where I've had people come up to me afterwards, and like I did a show one time called All My Ex-Boyfriends Are Gay. That was, my friend Rodney wrote it, and it was sort of a little bit based on one of my actual life experience, sort of semi-autobiographical. And I had like a a guy come up to me afterwards and he was like, yeah, no, I'm gay and I'm here with my sister, and like I feel like it was a really good show for us to see together. I feel like she understands me more, you know, blah blah blah. I don't know. That was a really nice feeling. You know?
Yeah. No, I get that. I think like what we were talking about before, I mentioned Hobo Johnson, which I think anybody should look up, but just how important one of his songs was to me, and how that's what we all look to when we're having a hard time. You look at for music or art or movies, or like you connect with something that makes you feel better, and the idea of doing that for somebody else, making something that somebody else goes to feel better, like that's a good feeling.
Well, and I mean, I think that we all, particularly those of us who are lucky or successful or privileged or whatever you want to call it, we have a social responsibility to take care of each other, and you know, we have to do that in whatever way you know, we do best. You know, I think that I'm good at a handful of things, but this also happens to be the thing that also brings me personally the most joy. I mean, it's a very wonderful thing to be on a stage and say something and then a bunch of people laugh and clap at you. It's just true. A nice feeling.
Yeah, that is. I actually like that you're putting it that way. Just it simplifies it. Where I mean, I think everyone can understand that. Yeah,
I mean, why wouldn't that feel nice? I mean, I suppose there are people, you know, who have terrible stage fright or whatever. And by the way, I do too, and most actors do to some level. But especially if we're kind of wonky on our lines, and we've all been there. But yeah, it's just like, just imagine, standing in a room and a bunch of people smiling warmly at you, and you know, wanting you to keep talking. It's just a nice feeling. Obviously, you don't get that instant response with film.
That's true.
But, you know, it's still worth the wait, you know, if somebody sees it, or maybe even just, you know, the crew, you know, if they like what you did, it's sort of the same thing.
It's true. Anytime I've had a positive reaction to something I've done, it's like the best feeling in the world.
It is.
Like the documentary I had a chance to do about film projection, which was just like fun for me because I, you know, when I was a kid, that was all like film was so magic and like projection booth and the whole idea.
Yeah, it was a really good documentary.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm not just saying that.
I know, but I only bring it up because I just because you realize how many other people like felt
the same way that you felt.
Yeah.
But I could tell watching it that you were very interested in the subject matter and you were really enjoying, you know, shooting it, and you can just tell.
Yeah.
You know.
That's true. Like with most work, like if you're into it or if you're just kind of doing it to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose there are some people who are very, you know, wily and clever and can, you know, pretend like they are liking what they, I don't know. I feel like I can usually tell when someone's really into something, meant to do it.
Do you run into like actors who you could tell just want to be actors because of the idea of being
all
an actor?
The time. Now you'll run into it less in theater. You know, most theater kids are just, you know, have sunshine shooting out of their ass. You know what I mean? It's just
sounds delightful.
This is what I was meant to do with my life. Especially, you know, musical theater kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the manna from heaven. You know what I mean? It's
just make me want to get into theater.
They just freaking love it. But I think, with, you know, with film actors, it's a lot more about like #set life. Like, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
We could have a whole other podcast about #set life and how I feel about, you know, people who just, you know, want to be on camera because, you know, they just think it's just super cool and like they can tell people like I'm an actor, and I actually don't really like telling people that I'm an actor a lot. All the normies out there.
Are you like worried about the response you'll get? Like,
it just feels very corny to say it.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's like if I were to say I'm a filmmaker, I'm like, I don't feel that way anyway.
Well, and especially when you're not making a living wage doing it.
Yeah, then you can't really say it.
You feel. I mean, you can say it because you are a filmmaker.
You can, but that's not how other people look at it. They go, "Oh, so it's a hobby."
Well, I mean, whenever I can't tell you how many times I'll say to someone, you know, just a normal person in an office or something, like, oh yeah, I'm an actor, I do this on the side or whatever. And they'll be like, yeah, I was in a play in high school. They just immediately equate me to that. And
Yeah.
like,
You're like, we're the same.
We're the same.
Like-
And they're always like, I always thought I would be really good at being an actor. And I'm like, well, cool for you. But
Yeah. I am still acting. So.
yeah. But at the same time, you know, in that same vein, you know, I've had, you know, there was one time that I was in a show and, you know, I take everything. I mean, I take it all seriously. I don't take myself that seriously, but you know,
But you want to do a good job.
I want to do a good job. But I remember, you know, one of the actors in the cast with us, she was, you know, kind of, all I can think, I'm trying to think of a more dignified term, but all I can think of is like dick swinging. You know what I mean? Just kind of like people, you know, listing off like her resume, like,
Yeah.
oh, I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, and I just kind of like brought things to it, like record scratch, like, you know, and I was like, but you know, we're both doing a show in a church basement right now, right? Like,
Need to
this
feel
is-
important.
like, I'm glad that you have all of these regional credits to your name. Yay for you. But right now, we're both doing this for free, girlfriend.
Yeah.
For the blue hairs.
I've had like what feels like a serious life crisis thinking about that stuff because I do not want to be that. And there have been times where I think where I just wasn't doing well. I'm like, do I even like doing this?
Oh,
is this what I want to do at all?
No, I get it.
Or am I just another one of those people that just wants to be like, yeah, I've made like a movie or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's how I think that, you know, that's how you know that you really do like love it, is like, you know, because people are like, well, why do you do this? You know what? You know, why do you love it? And it's like, well, I love it because I still do it even when I hate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Because it's like, you know, yes, we can boast about all of the great things that, you know, happen when we do, you know, produce something, you know, that's exciting. You know, it's like, oh, I got a great response from a bunch of people and I feel like I, you know, have accomplished something and I have a, you know, you know what I mean? I have this product that I feel really proud of. You know, those are great moments. But then, you know, you also have the moments where you're like, wow, I fucking suck. Like, you know what I mean? Where, you know, you have all those failures too. But then, you know, you keep...
And are you really critical of yourself? In work? Like
I don't know. That's sort of a hard question. I mean, I guess I want to say yes, I am very critical of myself, but I don't. That's a tough question.
Why?
Because I do think that I'm good at what I do. I don't know that I would necessarily do it otherwise. But yeah, absolutely. But I always sort of nip it in the bud. Like, there'll be sometimes in rehearsal where I'll just stop and I'll be like, let's just roll it back because that was just terrible acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to me that's saying you are critical, because you can thinking that you're good at what you do doesn't mean you're not critical of it. It's just like wanting to always be better.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
I'll
so
make things work and I'm like, that was pretty good. But then I'm working on something new and I'm like, you're the worst that's ever done this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it's just kind of like, you know, when I'm thinking about acting, I'm always thinking about the end product, which I always feel good about, you know. Usually I work hard to feel good about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have my moments, you know, probably less with acting than I do, maybe more so about writing. But yeah, sometimes I'm just like, wow, you should just quit forever. Like, just stop, dude. So yeah, I suppose I am, but I mean, I think, yeah, it's good.
I think it's so important though, because there are so many people who I don't think they have that ability.
Yeah, to like self-edit or
where you go
to be hard on themselves.
Check out this badass thing I made, and everyone else is like, I don't know, but they can't see it.
Yeah,
I would rather them be like, okay, I made this thing, it's awful, but I worked really hard on it. I'm put off by people who don't can't look at their own work and see the flaws in it.
Well, do you find that are you critical of other people though, the same way that you're critical about yourself? Because I have to say that I am incredibly critical about other people, but I think that the reason that I am is because it's like I'm putting that onto myself. You know, I'm like, see what they're doing, don't do that type of thing. You know what I mean? It's like every time I'm critical of somebody else, it's because I'm trying to sort of make it a part of my own process.
Ugh.
Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah, it's a good question. I think I'd still say I'm way more critical of myself because I don't know. I hate most of what I do at some point in the process.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's always a point. It's usually, you know, maybe kind of like a third of the way in where you're just like, this is not going to happen. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Throw it in the fire.
I think I can see the good in other people's work, but then I am very critical of people who do things and you can tell that they were not, maybe they haven't improved, or you can tell they haven't tried to improve, and maybe they have. It's just like I look at that and I go, that's the type of person who just wants to do this thing to be seen or to say that they make things. You know, that they don't have the passion for it,
right?
Where they're gonna continually get better and really be critical of their own work so they can get better. And that always bothers me. It shouldn't, but it bothers me.
I will say that I feel that I am pretty receptive to criticism. You know what I mean? I think you have to be.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah. I mean, I always want to be the best I can, and if somebody has a thought, I'm definitely gonna try to receive it and really think about it, even if I just happen to just disagree.
Yeah.
I will give it a hard think.
I mean, I would rather the people that are closest to me, I think, are comfortable being critical of me and what I do, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, well, my friends are definitely comfortable with that too.
It's important to have those people because I'll do the same for them. Where I'll say, I appreciate the work. I think you could have done better here, or I really loved it. Here's what I think could have been better. And we still, Nick and Calvin and I, we still make fun of The Zone. I love making fun of The Zone because it was a great memory for us. But at the same time, we look at it and we go, man, we were different people back then.
Right. I mean, you were cutting your teeth on it. You know what I mean?
But it's fun.
No, it is fun. It is fun. I mean, I have plenty of, a lot of it is writing, but like plenty of stuff to look back on. I'm like, wow, what a dork.
Yeah. I wrote another thing before The Zone that was like this. I think it was sad about some breakup or something.
Yeah.
I was like in high school.
I'm sure.
And it was just like this stream of consciousness, sadness, really. It was basically a monologue. And Calvin, I know we mentioned Calvin, but he's in The Zone. He was in one of these podcasts. It was the podcast that never was, recorded a year ago.
Aww.
Talks about dating. You should listen to that one.
Okay.
But he was in it. It's like this long monologue about just.
You know what? Maybe it's brilliant.
It was not brilliant. I wanted it to be. I think I even sent it to that girl who ended up making me sad later, and she was probably just like.
You sent it to her?
Well, it wasn't about her. It was probably before her and I, whatever.
Even still.
But I think I was like.
You liked?
Yeah. But I think I was like, I'm artistic. She appreciates the film side. So I sent her the monologue, I guess thinking she was going to be like, oh my God, that's so good.
Sensitive. He's
so in touch with your feelings. And she was probably like, oh,
she was probably like, you're weird.
I gotta go wash the dishes now.
Slither out of this scenario.
And she did.
And she was never seen or heard from again.
Well, it ended because we were on AIM. You remember AIM?
I do, indeed.
And I don't know. I guess we talked on there and on the phone, but I don't know how it came up. But then I wrote something like, I don't know. Do you just want to break up? Thinking that she was going to be like, oh, no.
That's a rookie mistake.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, I guess so.
Oh my God. I'm putting my hand over my face.
It was for the best.
What, guys always do that.
I've never done it since.
The
Okay.
fake out. No, but I feel like that's a coming of age lesson from a lot of young men is like the fake breakup, the fake
Yeah.
up, and it's like, well, do you just want to break up?
Well,
because I had a
but
guy
no.
do that to me like when I was like in 7th grade, and I was
But she was like hinting at it. It seemed like. So I was like, is this what you want? Hoping she would say, no.
well, yeah. And what would you tell young Jay now to say instead?
Well, since I don't think I should be with her, I'd be like, live your life the way you think you should then.
You could have phrased it like you could have been like, it seems as though you are hinting at wanting to break up.
Oh, I wasn't that good with words back then. I'm not good with words now. So
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I guess that's just not what young boys do.
no, it wasn't the best
It's
decision.
like a pride thing.
And then I was
You just
thinking,
want to break up.
I was like, she'll come back.
No, man.
She didn't.
She didn't. But it's good, though, because now you're not locked into a loveless marriage
No, that would have been.
with a girl who read your monologue.
She was nice. I don't know what she's doing now.
Was she? What was her name?
Jessica?
Shout out to Jessica.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so crazy if she listened to it. And then anyway,
She totally won't.
I know. Anyway, we're gonna run out of time here.
Okay.
We got like 30 seconds left.
Is it a tight 40?
No, I just try to start wrapping things up around
All right,
40
all right.
minutes.
I'm not gonna tell you my hopes and dreams, so we can't end there.
Okay. Do you have any words of wisdom for anybody who wants to get into acting?
Don't.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I will give what's anti-advice. There is sort of a bit of advice that's kind of that a lot of people say to actors, and probably anybody who's in any kind of entertainment industry business, but it's always like, if you can do anything else, do that. Have you heard that before? If you can do anything else with your life, do that instead. But if you have to be an actor, you should be. I think it's bullshit. I hate it when people say that.
Because of course you can do something else.
Well, and I think it's very insulting to people who are professional actors. I'm like, you think that these people are just complete hacks in literally every other area of their life? Like, there's lots of actors who could have pursued another life, and who do. They either split their time, or they take a hiatus, sabbatical from acting and come back to it, or don't, or whatever. I just think if you want to do it, you'll do it.
Yeah.
And
It's not necessarily the easiest road, but maybe the more fulfilling road.
yeah. If but I think the proof is in the pudding. If you want to do it, you'll find a way to do it. I always say there's this poem by W.S. Merwin, and he's talking about his mentor, and it's like, how do you he sort of asked him, like, how do you know if you're any good? And this is about writing, but I use it for acting too. It's like, how do you know if you're any good? It's like, you'll never know ever if you're any good. If you have to know, don't write. So for me, that's very powerful. It's like, yes, do I believe that I'm good? Yes. Have other people before reiterated that belief? Yes. But at the end of the day, you don't know if you're any good. What does that even mean? So you just kind of have to do what feels, the best to you.
So what, like for you,
So don't sweat it.
what does fulfillment look like in acting though? If you could have it how you wanted it.
Oh.
What?
No, I mean,
What's ideal as an actor? Because you could go different ways.
well, I mean, of course I'd love to put myself at the top of the hierarchy,
I don't know. I wouldn't want to assume that either, because I'm sure there's plenty of people that like it, but also want to just have regular life and like, I'll just do this theater thing on the side.
Sure. I think that in my, fantasy life, it would be lovely to be at the top of the, at the top of the pyramid and, be receiving lots of accolades and working with, the people that, you admire and love, the people that sort of made you want to get into it in the first place. for me, I admire a lot of women who, you know, wear all the hats, you know, like Mindy Kaling, who writes and acts and like directs in like her own stuff, and Lena Dunham and Mariana Palka, people like that. So yeah, I mean, yes, in my wildest dreams, yes, I would love to be like very, very, very successful, just because, you know, it would give me the opportunity to do literally whatever I wanted.
Sure.
But I think in a more realistic capacity, I think it would be lovely to be able to support myself doing it.
The dream.
Huh?
Really, that is the dream.
That is the
isn't
dream.
it?
Yeah, to be able to support yourself doing it, and or you know, if that's not a possibility, then to just be able to make enough, to be able to have enough time and enough funds, you know, in whatever way to produce, you know, original pieces. You know, I love to do original. I mean, I love to do, you know, classic, you know, things as well. But yeah, I like to produce my own stuff.
Well, you're gonna make it happen.
I know.
I can feel it.
I mean, I'm 32. I'm so young. I have my whole life ahead of me.
Think life expectancy is getting higher, so you got like what, 70 years?
No, this is
left?
true, and I don't like to age shame. I really don't.
Yeah. You shouldn't.
I really don't.
Don't be
It's a
that
privilege
person.
to grow older. Not everyone gets to do it. I realize that. You know, Vera Wang didn't make her first wedding dress till she was 40. That's always like what people say.
There you
You know what I
Really,
mean?
you're just starting out if you look at it
Yeah.
like that.
No, I have high hopes. It would be lovely if we could work together again. That would be great.
I know. I'm already. I've got stuff. I'm trying
I mean,
to
I
work
would
on.
love it if you would just somehow become independently wealthy.
I'm working on that too.
Just try to do that.
I'm starting this music festival. I'm gonna call it
It's called Fire.
Fire. No, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to work with you again. I'm glad we still know each other 13 years later.
I know. It's good. It's good. Been all good times, man.
And come back. We'll talk more creativity or acting or whatever.
I'll come back to, you know, do my filibuster on why whodunit is the lowest form.
Yeah, you can do a whole 40
acting.
minutes on that. I'm fine with it.
And then they're all gonna come after me with crazy accents and pitchforks and bad wigs.
Give me a 40-minute monologue on who done it.
You don't think? Don't threaten me with a good time.
Do it.
Don't think that I couldn't.
I'll listen to that for 40 minutes. I'll intro you and then I'll listen for 40 minutes. Don't think I
Oh.
won't.
Yeah.
So thanks again for coming. By the way, I never found that quote.
You
Totally
never found
forgot
that
about
quote?
it.
Oh,
No,
man.
we'll look later. And then maybe
later.
I'll like write it somewhere. But yeah, thanks. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I'm so glad I got a chance to talk to Holly. That was a lot of fun. I loved that conversation. If you want to learn more about what we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram at Miscellaneous Important Stuff and on YouTube. I'll be releasing a vlog before each episode so you can get to know our guest a little bit better, and full episodes will be on YouTube as well. So please subscribe to the different social media channels, follow us, and let us know if you have any questions or ideas for future episodes. But for now, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.